Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Overflow. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, also known as the Hatman.
And we are going to be chowing, just so you know, because it's dinner time for both of us. I worked overtime today, and Hatman's actually sitting in the drive-thru right now.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A is busy, of course.
But Chick-fil-A is good. So
but Chick-fil-A, yeah.
Yeah,
that is the reward, Chick-fil-A.
Exactly. And also, folks will probably be noticing that I shaved off my mustache, so I don't look like a supervillain. It's I like to call this look Micah Classic. And I'm thinking, I was actually talking to my best friend today about getting the Patriot Wear website set up and how we're going to do it. And one thing that I thought of is that we should, because I changed my facial hair and my hairstyle so many times throughout the year, we should do a Faces of Micah shirt. And have all of my different, all of my different hair and facial styles that I've gone through over the past year, and then end it with Skull o' Micah. So, because that seems to be the most popular one.
You have to have the Millions Will Die face too.
Well, that's a whole different shirt. That's a whole different shirt for sure. So, but I've been trying to brainstorm some stuff with that this week. I know that each of our artists watch the podcast and the Overflow pretty regularly. So if you guys have ideas for not just, us, but patriotic, stuff. One thing I would actually like to do is, because we have so many veterans that watch, to have shirts for each branch. One that I definitely would love to do is for the Marines, to have a bulldog, the chesty polar bulldog with a cigar in its mouth that just says United States Marine Corps underneath it, and just stuff like that. So, but I don't know what animal I would use for for the Army and for the Navy and all that stuff. So for those of you who have served in those branches, please let us know what you think and what you'd like.
I'll have to ask my Army rat friend. So
yeah. So I've got, whatever the Army one is, I'm giving one to my dad. So I thought an eagle for that one, because he was in the 101st and they were known as the Screaming Eagles. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. Hatman, you always choose. So what are we doing? Politics or entertainment to start?
God, I forgot what we did last time. Let's just go in order. Let's do politics first.
Okay, we've got a lot of these today. So I don't know if they're going to be quick questions or not, but Swordsman 100 starts us off and he says, thoughts on the far left's support of collective punishment as a reason for banning guns. I don't know if that's ever been their direct reasoning, but it definitely seems to be the modus operandi. Because there's never punishment? Well, think about it. They want to take away the right to own a gun from everybody because a few people commit sin with guns.
Right.
That's collective punishment. Whether no matter how you look at it, and that's oftentimes how you argue against it. It's like you're collectively punishing everyone, aside from the rights-based argument.
I mean, I guess that sort of fits in with just the general logic of the left. If you have a right that is being quote unquote abused, then you lose it. You lose your right to that, regardless of, whether or not you are being offensive with it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, speech, guns, what have you. What's next? They're gonna pull the Third Amendment too.
Mm-hmm.
You have to open your homes to immigrants.
It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Me either.
But that is their the way that they execute these sorts of things is they punish massive groups of people for the sins of a few, as opposed to just taking care of the few.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ridiculous. It is downright ridiculous. It infringes upon the inalienable rights of citizens. And if a government is not protecting those inalienable rights, the government is worthless. Looking at you, England. So, we're looking at you, England, and the Middle East.
UK in general.
Well, and the Middle East. Several nations in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And North Korea, and so on and so forth. Oh, and several Scandinavian countries. We are the last bastion
Looking at
of
you,
freedom.
everyone who isn't America.
Exactly. We are the last bastion of freedom. We are. Okay. Here's a good one. If Big Boss becomes president, will the Fiddler become his vice president? So,
why are we here? Just to suffer?
Funny as that is, technically you got the lore wrong. The guy playing him like a fiddle was Skullface. I don't think I want the worst enemy of Big Boss as his vice president. I don't think that would work out very well. Just saying.
I just want... No, because if he starts the Patriots too, then that means we get proxy wars and ID tagged guns and all that shit.
Well, like I said, I'm going to run for government, and I'm going to convince him to start Les Enfants Terribles. Just so you know. I'm just warning everyone that I'm going to become part of the Patriots.
Dan Crenshaw becomes president, renames the U.S. to Outer Heaven.
Lalilulelo. Okay. Melee Brawler 64 says, do you guys think Mexico will declare war on the U.S. to try to take back the land they sold to us? No.
What? No.
Do they want to lose another war to us? Because keep in mind, they waged war against us once. They didn't win.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Look at the America-Mexico War. It's the war that Teddy Roosevelt fought in.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, though. If Mexico was stupid enough to try that and to even send the cartels in to do their bidding,
oh god, they get
that's one way to take care of the damn drug problem.
Yeah, there is that at least. So yeah, Mexico, go right ahead. Go right ahead. We might not even be able to send in the military. We could just send Texas.
There you go.
Half the citizens of Texas be like, you fuckers.
Like, we'll do it for free. Fuck it.
All you gotta do is buy the beer. Suddenly,
yeah.
Mexico is invaded by a storm of pickup trucks with guys in the back with fully automatic rifles. Don't ask how they got them.
People have converted their pickups into warthogs.
Oh god, it's a puma.
Pumas aren't real.
Okay. Next question. Hardboiled Entertainment wants to know, what are the odds that a convention of states comes across when it happens, if it happens, that it repeals the 17th Amendment? So that's an interesting question.
Doubt it. Doubt it. Why would they do away with direct election of senators?
Yeah, that wouldn't... I don't see that ever happening. And I don't think it would be a good idea.
Unless, of course, it's to the body of the Senate, because I believe that's like the first section of the amendment. The Senate is 50 senators, 2 from each state.
The Senate of the United States shall be comprised of two senators. Hold on, let me read it. Let me read it. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, elected by the people thereof for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. The electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislatures. So,
yes.
I don't really see... The only thing that I could think is that we would amend the amendment to add a term limit.
Yeah.
But I don't think we would ever repeal it. I think it would be a very bad idea.
Well, you don't even have to amend the amendment there. It just says a term of 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could tack on a term limit after that, because you got presidential terms of 4 years, and then they tacked on the limits of no more than
2 years for
2
representatives.
terms of 4 years.
Yeah. That was after FDR.
Why did I say 50 senators? Good God, I'm stupid.
I have no idea, Hatman.
I need my Chick-fil-A, damn it.
But yeah, no, I don't ever see that happening.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, Koopa's Revenge Home wants to know, should we let Puerto Rico become its own country? They've been a commonwealth for ages. It's clear they don't want to become a state nor give up the benefits of being a territory. Well,
no, I believe they do want to become a state.
The first time that we gave them the opportunity to become a state, they turned it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that has changed. We could offer it to them again, but I don't know. I think that from what I have heard is that they're pretty divided on it. Because, and it is, now it's divided among party lines. Republicans, right-leaning people in Puerto Rico like the United States. Democrats don't.
How convenient.
It's basically, well, that's the thing. It's the whole world is like that now. People on the left across the world hate the United States. People who are on the right across the world love the United States. Provided you're not like some alt-right fascist fuckwit.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it very intriguing because the nations that are now mostly right-leaning are taking notes from us. Poland being a really good example of that. So.
Yeah, if they become their own country, they're fucked. Just plain and simple.
Oh yeah, they're done for.
So no,
they won't know what to do. They're too reliant on us.
Yeah, the best option would be to just make it its own state. But if they don't want to be a state, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see that at some point we cut them off, or to basically tell them become a state, or we cut you off. And then, because they're kind of a drain on us, and then at that point they would probably become a state out of necessity. So that's my thoughts on that. Gojira387 wants to know, I don't know if you can answer this, but what would you recommend as Ravi Zacharias' most thought-provoking book? Funny thing about Ravi is that I've actually never read any of his books. I've started on one, but I've never read one cover to cover. I like him a lot as a lecturer. More so than a writer. I've actually heard that as a writer he's very dry. But the one that has always been recommended to me is one that he and Vince Vitale wrote called Jesus Among Secular Gods. And that's the one I'm going through as an audiobook. Because I thought, like I said, his style of speaking, I'm told he writes how he speaks, but in text he's going to come across as dry. Because when you do that, unless you're he's a very detailed speaker who uses a lot of examples, but that doesn't really fly as well in writing as it does in speaking, because those examples are used to keep the audience engaged. You know, like when he quoted 21st Century Schizoid Man in his lecture of Why I'm Not an Atheist, which is his best lecture. Either way, the book that I am recommended the most is Jesus Among Secular Gods. Hey man, have you ever read any of his stuff?
I can't say that I have, actually.
Okay.
So I guess I'll have to add that one to my list.
There we go. Talon Silverbane. Oh, one thing to mention, guys. If you ever have theological questions, you're more than welcome to ask them during the Politics podcast or for the Overflow. I'd be more than happy to answer. Gives me the chance to dust off my theological chops. Which, I will admit, so I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I've actually been, mulling around the idea of going back to college. I would like to pay off my debts first. Pay off my car and pay off my my personal loan, which that's like 14 grand combined, though. But should that happen in the next couple of years, I think I will probably go back and finish my degree in philosophy. And with theology as a minor, because theology is a minor for everybody at the school that I would go back to. So it's just about, I can't not be a full-time employee right now. I can't not do it. So, all right. Next question Talon Silverbean wants to know, what do you think on those who refuse to work or even deal with the leftists on any issue, or try to claim they must be commies trying to destroy America and try to push them out as SJWs would do to the right? Well, when it comes right down to it, at least in government, the only thing you can do is throw out something that you find negotiable that they want. And if they won't even take that, you're not left with any options. Now, I do have a problem, and I've actually talked with people about this in my Discord server. I do have a problem with, and even the Honey Badgers got on me about this, with thought-killing statements. Not thought as in that hoe over there, but thought as in what you're thinking. And basically throwing a label on someone to dismiss everything that they're saying. And when you do that, you make yourself look stupid.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the left does. And of course, I'm doing that right now by saying that's what the left does.
Mm. But it is an observable thing that we do see people on the left do. Bob Chipman is a really good example of that. I think he's the worst about it. Bob Chipman doesn't make arguments. Bob Chipman labels you, and because you have that label, he dismisses you, even though he's not that intelligent and is not in a position to brand people as unintelligent unless they are blithering retards, which is only one step below Bob Chipman. So yes, Bob Chipman is only, one step above somebody who would legitimately consider putting a fork in a light socket. But why do I say that? Well, it's because Bob Chipman makes bad arguments. I don't just say Bob Chipman's a commie. He does sympathize with people who are communists and Antifa members. Absolutely. But being a commie is not necessarily why he is wrong. Being unable to make proper arguments and having no good ideas is what makes him wrong. It is.
Well, I mean, being a communist on top of that, because we've debunked communist arguments on the podcast before.
But that's the thing. We debunk the argument. We don't just say that's a commie and it's debunk the argument.
Yeah, when we talk about things that the left does, we do make an effort to say why this is bad. This is the wrong idea because of this. I mean, we don't just say it's left, therefore it's bad.
Yeah,
it's a bad idea that the left has.
Yeah, there are people I've seen that say that have very negative thoughts about T.J. Kirk, very negative thoughts about politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and things like that, and they just brand them as communist cultists. I'm like, well, wait a minute. T.J. Kirk calls everyone a cultist who believes in a religion. How are you any different? You're not making yourself look smarter than him. What are you left with? How do you look in that matter? You don't look as somebody who is different. You look just as bad, if not worse in some cases, because you could be wrong, and that's when you look really dumb. So that's my thoughts on that. Hatman, do you have anything more to add on that?
I think we've said all that needs to be said.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's see here. Last one, CT117 asks, what do we think about being globalist libertarians? Are we better off without nation states? I personally don't think so. I would agree. I think that's a very bad idea.
How can you be a globalist libertarian?
A lot of libertarians believe in open borders. I don't understand why they do either.
Hold on. A globalist implies a one massive world government.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do that, you would have to have severe crackdowns on certain individual liberties. I mean, we've seen that with the European Union. How it just seems like an oxymoron.
It is.
No. That's.
I think we're at a point.
Libertarian.
I think we're at a point where we're going to have. Libertarians are going to have to give up on the open borders thing. It really is one of the dumbest positions that libertarians hold. And I've never heard a good argument for it. Ever. It's kind of one of those pipe dream things where it's like, where I would like to see, it's like, what's an example of a place with open borders having a really good economy? There isn't one. Because almost all of them have massive socialist policies, and then they add these people that are a drain on their economies. They just basically give out the free stuff, and then it's like, oh god, shit, we have to pay for things. I forgot about that part. So, I don't get it. I think that libertarians honestly need to ditch that. It never makes sense. Ever.
I kind of wonder if that's part of the overlap that some people are trying to make with, like, the libertarian leftist.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed that started to become a term that's being used. Like, no, you're not a libertarian leftist. You're actually an anarcho-communist. Like, let's be real. Call it what it is.
Well, the Libertarian Party has a problem, and it's called... Well, they have several problems. One of them is consistency. Mm-hmm. Especially with the people that they elect. I'm still of the opinion in 2020 they're going to run Gary Johnson again. I have heard nothing that there's nobody in the Libertarian Party that they're going to push at all. Unless they pushed another person from the last time, which would be Austin Peterson, who should have gotten the nomination because he was the only sensible one.
Mm-hmm. He's somebody that young voters can rally behind.
Yes, because he has good ideas. And
I mean, like the closest, like, older, not really like establishment, but someone who has a better track record, I'd say, would be Bill Weld. But even then, he's not somebody that you can be enthusiastic about.
Fuck no. Yeah, but that's generally the problem. And the Libertarian Party doesn't even take itself seriously. Like, this last year, like, we've ranted on it already. I'm not going to retread the fucking waters. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Okay. So, entertainment. Koopa's Revenge Home wants to know, waited for this overflow because the wild card games will be done. Postseason NFL predictions? I don't care.
I don't care either. All I know is that the Panthers suck this year, and they've sucked for the last few years.
Yeah,
and they need to not suck.
Here's how you can tell whether or not I'm going to care about, like, the Super Bowl. Are the Bears in it? If the answer is no, I don't give a shit. Meaning I've only given a shit twice in my lifetime. No. And one was when I was a month old.
Anyway. I think they just got beat by the Eagles anyway, so
yeah.
No.
Don't care.
No, do not care. Not one bit.
Glad to hear they made the playoffs, but don't care. Don't care. Swordsman 100 wants to know, thoughts on the next Web of Venom? Dog Venom versus zombies.
Well, what?
You know, I don't know what it is, but it seems like ever since Donny Cates started to fucking hate fans out of nowhere, it doesn't seem like he has any more good ideas. But that's the problem. When you're not working for your fans, suddenly you lose all your fucking motivation. So, I'm not going to buy it. This month is probably the last time I'm going to read anything he prints. Because he's a prick now.
Damn shame, too.
I know. Very talented. But a prick. I'm not giving him my money.
What the hell happened? Did somebody tell him that he had to denounce Comicsgate or something?
Yes. Basically. Here's how it worked out. So, here's the timeline. There is it's a fandom, because of course.
Mm-hmm.
A fandom that shot out of Mike Costa's run on Venom that pitches the character of Venom, or the symbiote, and Eddie Brock as gay lovers.
Oh, no. That came out of the movie.
It existed before the movie.
Are you sure about that?
I'm
'Cause
100%.
I remember
It didn't get popularized until the movie, and that fucking
maybe
article
that's
came
what I'm
out.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Because that's when I started seeing all the fucking fan art of Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock, and the symbiote.
Yeah. No, that's when it got popularized. But it first started. First started noticing it around the time of the Mike Costa run on the book, and I just kind of ignored it. But they started getting on Donny Cates because Donny Cates, for better or worse, has temporarily lobotomized the symbiote as part of the storyline, basically to add tension to the book, and it works. But this fandom started going after him because, of course, they did, because fandoms are terrible.
Yes.
And he responded in kind with, I don't have to, I'm not changing the way that I do this book at all. I'm writing it the way I want to write it because it's my book. Marvel's given it to me, and I have a plan for this storyline. And people in Comicsgate backed him up and said, yeah, he doesn't have to do this. And they're like, yeah, we really enjoy your book. We want you to be able to do what you do. Keep doing a good job. It was all encouragement, the kind of thing that he honestly deserved up to that point. And then somebody somewhere, I don't know if it was somebody at Marvel or it was maybe a fellow writer, but somebody told him about Comicsgate because he hadn't said shit about it beforehand, and told him that it was a bunch of white supremacists. And then he went fucking bonkers on people. And he has been like that ever since.
Can't win for losing.
No. But this is part of the reason why I'm throwing my hat in the fucking ring. Is because now there's another comic that I know people are going to be dropping like crazy. And it's like, you know what? I can write a comic book that people who like this book are going to enjoy. And they're going to enjoy it. It's called Project Lazarus, by the way. And we're still working out some kinks with it, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, you might have heard us talk about it before.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. It's just we're trying to figure some stuff out in the background.
Yeah. Come hell or high water, we will deliver that thing.
Yes. We're both very determined when it comes right down to it. So, anyway. So yeah, fuck Donny Cates. Fuck him. Can I hit the fucking button again?
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Okay, I need to grab my phone here because it fell and it's got all the questions and.
Actually, you know what? Hit it a third time for the fucking Eddie and Venom shippers too.
Yeah, fuck them too.
Fuck them.
Okay. Let's see here. Talon Silverbane wants to know, how bad do you think microtransactions have gotten? And how long do you think they have left before companies stop using them? Also, thoughts on Call of Duty selling red dot sites to customize your guns for $1. They're not going anywhere.
No, they're not going anywhere. They're a permanent part, just like DLC. They are now a permanent part of gaming. As long as you have a fucking online connection, that's what you're gonna get. I mean, they're going to be available. There's nothing you can do about that. Like, DLC was the test run of it.
Yeah.
Besides mobile gaming, that's basically what's keeping consoles from dying.
Pretty much
is microtransactions, because otherwise we'd all be going to fucking mobile gaming.
Oh yeah.
And we don't fucking want that. But microtransactions make a fuck ton of money.
Well,
I mean, if you look at like just Nintendo's fucking numbers, I think they said Pokemon Go microtransactions made fucking $680 million last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're here to stay, whether you like it or not. They are here to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fucking ridiculous for a console game to carry them, because you're already paying $60 up front. But fuck it, some people are stupid, and some people have too much fucking money to go around. So
well, and that's the thing. the entertainment business, both in video games and comic books, is based around whales.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's based around the whales, and where the whales go, the money go, or the business goes. But then again, that's economics. You know, whoever is purchasing, they have the power.
Yeah.
And people are purchasing microtransactions. And the fact of the matter is that there exist people where if there's bonus content to a game that you have available and they have $5 and you're willing to part with that content for $5 instead of them spending 20 hours of gameplay doing it, they're going to give you that $5.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see a problem with that. My only problem is pay to win. If you're buying something that gives you an advantage over other people in the game, or loot boxes. I don't like loot boxes. You know, the only thing that I'm even kind of okay with loot boxes for is if they're offered alongside an actual storefront. Like, you can get this costume for let's say $2, or you can buy a loot box for $1 and it might include that. That makes more sense to me. But only loot boxes? Fuck you. I'm not buying your game.
No. That was a big fucking criticism I had for Halo 5. It was, at least multiplayer, pay to win fucking loot boxes for Warzone.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, that was absolute bullshit.
Like, and even then, it's like, yeah, if what you're offering to people is stuff that is not, because Gears 4 has that in its multiplayer, but there are ways to get things direct. But the loot boxes, like, at least they're all just like visual shit. They're not like going to improve the game for you unless you really want that skin. And I'll freely admit I went out of my way to buy the General Rom skin because he's the one character I always used in multiplayer. And if I don't have General Rom, I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah, but like imagine one of the unlocks that you could get was like an advanced Lancer.
Yeah.
With
like turbo damage or some bullshit.
Something like that, or better stability.
Yeah.
Or it revs up the chainsaw faster.
Yeah. That would be stupid.
Imagine putting that behind a loot box.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Halo 5 fucking did.
Yeah.
That's why I hate that shit.
Yeah, so just for people just to sum it up, it's like these aren't going anywhere at all. They're making people money. They're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're
big thing... They're making more money than DLC ever did.
Yes. The point, at the end of the day, and drink, for those of you who are at home, but one of the t-shirts we make is going to have to be the Micah Curtis drinking game. But and I'm going to have to set the rules for it too, now that I think about it. If you're shooting, it's Sacrum 7, by the way.
Shit.
Yeah, I ain't letting you off on some wimpy bullshit. You're shooting 7s. But anyway, it's not going anywhere, and if you don't like it, don't buy the game. Or if all games are starting to include them, then as a gamer, you're just gonna have to ask yourself, what am I okay with and what am I not okay with? You know, what is unbearable and what isn't unbearable? You know, because this whole thing of, you know, we should legislate them or something like that, that's just socialist nonsense and fuck off. Get your government out of my hobbies. Fuck you. Okay. In light, let's see here. Hardboiled Entertainment wants to know, in light of Dan Jurgens getting honored for his career in comics, what is your favorite stuff from his body of work? Superman. He wrote Death of Superman.
Death of Superman, right?
Yeah. He and Louise Simonson were both writing Superman around that time. I think he had Action. He had Action, and then Luis had Action. He had the main Superman book. So, yeah, he's one of the best Superman writers of all time. He and John Byrne are my two favorites.
Doomsday, man, Doomsday.
Doomsday is coming. It is he's a great writer.
Didn't he also have a Thor run in the early 2000s?
He had a pretty well-known Thor run, too. I think he did the King Thor storyline. Not my favorite Thor, but he's still up there in regards to the best. You know, the pinnacle, of course, is going to be... oh, God, why is my brain blanking on me? Walt Simonson. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, I just mentioned his wife, but Walt Simonson's easily the best. Like, nobody comes close to his Thor. But behind him would be J. Michael Straczynski. And then probably Stan Lee, and then probably Dan Jurgens. So. And then finally, CT117 asks, what do we mean that fandoms can become toxic? I've made good friends in the fandoms I'm in, and what fandoms would you guys consider toxic as an example? Steven fucking Universe.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yes.
And just like with the Venom thing, fandoms become toxic when they start making demands of creators.
Yes.
And most fandoms end up doing that inevitably because they think they know what's best. And in some cases, yeah, they do. Case in point, Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That fandom knew that The Last Jedi was trash, and they weren't afraid to fucking say it.
Yes.
At the same time, though, they can get really fucking terrible. Case in point, how they made George Lucas's life a living hell during the prequels.
Yes. And let's not forget, the Steven Universe fandom drove someone to kill themselves.
Or at least attempt suicide. Like, they have driven literal artists of the show off of fucking social media.
Yes.
Because they didn't do what they wanted. They either drove a girl to suicide or drove her to attempt suicide because she drew characters that were fat in the show or larger in the show as thin. That is absolutely fucking toxic. And you know I don't use that word lightly. You know I hate that word.
Yeah.
But I have got nothing better to call it.
Yeah, there are Call of Duty fandoms that have given death threats to developers that, and I've actually seen them threaten the lives of developers because they change reload times.
Yeah. Changing gun balancing in the fucking game is worth sending death threats over. Like,
yeah. The person who sent me a death threat when I did the Dragon Age 2 review for Blister Thumbs was a member of a fucking Dragon Age fandom. Not that I took it seriously, but it's still not fun.
No.
But it's because the people drive themselves fucking crazy.
Yeah. Remember the fucking Twilight fandom way back when? That's how I got my first death threat.
Yeah, it's insane. It's fucking insane. It's why we say it's okay to be a fan of stuff. Fandoms? Oh, fuck. Do not make this shit your life.
No, absolutely not. Like, fan sites, all that stuff, as far as I'm concerned, it's all cancer.
Well, like, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far, but...
I will go that far. I will go that far.
I think that there is a fine line between a dedicated fan and being in a fandom. And I think that there's a lot of dedicated fans out there that are really cool people. But I think that, let me put it this way, if at some point somebody gets pissed at me because of a character decision I make in Project Lazarus, which I'm praying becomes a regular book, I'm going to tell them to fuck off. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, this is my character. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. It's like, and I say this as a fan of many things. I say this as a man wearing a Ghost t-shirt with a Berserk poster behind him, to his left being the original Star Wars trilogy posters. And I have a Cthulhu lying around here somewhere. Speaking of which, I'm trying to figure out what I should put on my my bar stool back there that just kind of sits there for whenever guests come over. And I don't know what I want to put there. I've been thinking about trying to find a plush Thanos. Or a plush Cthulhu.
You can find plush Cthulhus. I don't know about Thanos. You can just get the Infinity Gauntlet.
There's that too. I must note it. A plush Thanos does indeed exist.
There you go.
So I'm going to have to consider that. It's made by Funko.
Oh.
What?
Do not like their designs.
I don't mind them. I have a Funko Cthulhu.
Yeah, I know. I don't like Funko designs. It looks unnatural.
Well, that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
But I'll figure out something. That or an Iron Man helmet would actually be pretty cool.
There you go.
Oh, wait a minute. Is there Strong Bad merch?
There is the old Kick the Cheat plush.
I don't know if I want to kick the cheat. but I must know. Okay, let's see here.
Good luck finding a Kick the Cheat though. Last time I checked, they were expensive as hell.
Cheat Commando figurines.
There you go.
Homestar Runner figurine series number 1.
Oh shit! No, they got the Trogdor board game.
Dagran mousepad.
Dagran mousepad.
Oh
no,
god.
They got the Trogdor board game, and they've got the Homestar Runner characters as little figurines in there.
Holy shit! Trogdor shirt is $28.
Good God.
That's a little much, guys. That's a
lot
little much for a fucking t-shirt. Okay.
Unless that includes shipping, that's a lot much.
Yes, that is a little too expensive. I'm afraid you're gonna need to get your shit together, sir. I am tempted to get the figurines though. If for no other reason, just to have Strong Bad on my desk.
Yeah, well, they are of dubious quality. That's the only caveat.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. That fucking sucks. But
yeah.
But yeah,
I haven't seen the Cheat Commandos figures though. But I know the OG Homestar figurines looked really weird in person because my buddy had a set.
Yeah. I guess real quick, before we take off, I'll show the audience at home what I'm talking about. So here's the Cthulhu. And he sits by my subwoofer. What else do I have over here?
You have a terror mask over there, I believe.
No, that's in my entertainment room.
Oh, right. Oh, that's right. You changed things around.
Yes. Mort is in my entertainment room as well. And then I've got Horatio here. Now, some of you might wonder, why is he named Horatio? Because I couldn't fucking remember my Hamlet properly.
Poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio.
Yes, exactly. It's like, no, Horatio's who he's talking to. So, It's like, what the fuck, Micah? So, but no, my mother gave me this, oddly enough. She hates my design sense, but she gave me a skull. But I'm like, you know what? So I started calling him Horatio, and then my best friend Josh points it out. He's like, but Horatio's the guy he was talking to, not the guy who died.
Yep.
So, and I didn't have the heart to call him Yorick. So if I get another skull, I will name it Yorick. But, yeah. So I've got Horatio here.
You get a monkey skull and name it Ampersand.
Nah. But Horatio...
You still need to finish that, by the way.
Horatio sits on my desk as well. And oddly enough, I have another sculpture down here. One of these days I plan on doing an office tour, but I need to actually clean my office. So, but there's this thing. It is a Hydra. And it was an incense burner, but the burner part broke because it's cheap Walmart stuff. But I always really liked the design of it, so I just kept it around just as a decoration. I thought about taking it to work, but I'm like, you know what? No. I don't want
those backflow burners.
No, it's just one where you just put the conal incense in the bottom of it, and it just burns up and came through the mouth of the Hydra. So, okay. But I love that sort of shit. So, yeah, I have no idea what I want to put back there. I just have not. It's like this one big gap that's driving me crazy. I wonder how much a plush Cthulhu even costs. $11. Well, it looks like shit, though.
Donate to the channel so Micah can get a plush Cthulhu.
Yeah. But yeah. So, yeah, that's oddly enough, that's all the questions we had this week.
There you go.
So yeah, in the comments, let us know what should I put in that chair. By the way,
And
no
also
sex
shirt
toys.
Designs. No sex toys, but also shirt designs.
Yes,
Tell us that too.
and not just stuff about the channel. We actually plan on like this being like a clothing brand in the future. So we want design ideas, stuff like that. One that I have that I'm definitely having done is a Crusaders Templar helmet with a banner underneath it and some sort of, what was the plant that Caesar wore around his head?
Oh God, how am I going to forget that? Laurel wreath.
Yeah, a laurel underneath him, but it says oh my God, my brain just blanked on me on the Latin. The war for all against all. What is that in Latin?
I don't know Latin.
It's not dulce bellum in expertise. That's those who desire war, who think war is sweet, have never tasted it. Bellum omnium contra omnis. It'll say that underneath.
That sounds Latin to me.
All right, folks. Well, we appreciate you all watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, also known as the Hatman.
We will see you guys next week. Deus Volt.
Deus Volt.